Exposed are the Mendeecees. A blue Jasmine totally exposes everything, Yandy mortally broken. The city of New York had always been a location where secrets were kept buried, hidden behind the dazzling lights of fame, money, and the seductive pull of television cameras. This had consistently been the case throughout the city's history. However, even in a location such as this one, the truth has a way of coming to the surface, regardless of whether you want it to or not. And now, the truth about Mendeecees Harris, a character who was once respected in the world of reality television, was about to crush the hearts of everyone he knew from the beginning of time. A woman whose name had become synonymous with mystery and intrigue in the media, Jasmine Bleu, was ready to deliver a bombshell that would leave everyone dumbfounded. She was about to reveal something that would leave everyone speechless. As someone who had always been someone who had kept her personal secrets under wraps, Jasmine had always been someone who had been a silent observer. She was known for her reputation of being fiercely independent. Nevertheless, she was prepared to seize the spotlight for herself at this point. A Calm Before the Storm is the title of Chapter 1. It was all there for Yandy Smith Harris. Mendeecees, the guy she had believed to be her soulmate, had a prosperous career, a lovely family, and a marriage that appeared to be perfect. She had been there for him through thick and thin, providing support and assistance to him through his legal issues, personal struggles, and his time spent in prison. The man who was the father of Yandy's children and the love of her life was Mendeecees, who she considered to be her rock. They were able to build an empire together by means of a reality television show that highlighted their journey as a family, demonstrating how they triumphed over challenges. In spite of this, there was a change in the atmosphere. A tense atmosphere prevailed, and there was a hint of something sinister on the horizon. It was something that Yandy could feel, but she was unable to put her finger on it. The name of Jasmine Bleu, a woman whose name had been mentioned in tabloids, gossip columns, and Twitter feeds, was always a figure that lingered in the background of Mendeecees' history. With the exception of the fact that she had a kid named Awesome with Mendeecees, no one had ever fully known everything there was to know about her. The existence of Jasmine in Mendeecees' life was something that Yandy, ever the strong woman, had patiently tolerated. Recently, however, something seemed to be amiss. The relationship between Jasmine and Mendeecees appeared to be more complicated than Yandy had ever imagined it to be. Jasmine had grown more vocal and noticed by more people. Jasmine Bleu's reveal is the subject of Chapter 2. In the midst of a stormy night, the moment arrived like a clap of thunder. He had reached his limit, Jasmine Bleu. In the drama that was Mendeecees' life, she was not going to be anything more than a mere footnote in the background. She was not going to continue to allow herself to be the topic of rumors that were being whispered about her. When Jasmine was ready, she was prepared to take charge of the story. In the course of an exclusive interview with a well-known gossip website, Jasmine sat down and started to expose the truth that had been concealed for such a considerable amount of time. It was as she leaned forward that the cameras began to flash, her voice still steady but brimming with emotion. In the beginning, Jasmine stated, "Mendeecees and I have a long history. Since we were both young children, we have known one another. There is a strong connection between us, and I never imagined that I would be the one to reveal the truth. Yet, it is time for me to do so. It's high time that the entire world is aware of Mendeecees' true identity." As Yandy listened to the interview on her phone, she felt a sinking feeling in her chest. In her conversation with Mendeecees, Jasmine revealed a side of herself that she had never known before, a side that was rife with lies, treachery, and betrayal. In the version of their history that Jasmine related, Mendeecees had made promises that he never honored, promises that had caused her to feel heartbroken many years ago. Jasmine presented this account of their history as Jasmine proceeded. Her eyes welled up with emotions. She said, "I was never just a side chick, as the tabloids love to call me. I was the woman that Mendeecees made it clear he desired to spend the rest of his life with." On the other hand, when things became challenging and the strain increased, he made the decision to leave, and I was left to raise our son by myself. I had feelings for him. I was under the impression that he loved me. Nevertheless, the fact of the matter is that he was never as dedicated to me as I was to him. Yandy's heart was pierced by Jasmine's words, which felt like daggers. As she listened, she suffered from a severe lack of breath. He had been keeping a lot of information from her, the man she had loved for such a long time, and who was also the father of her children. The questions that were running through Yandy's head were as follows. How could he have kept this from her for all these years? Why had he lied to her in front of her? On the other hand, there was more. There was more to Jasmine than that. Hidden Secrets is the title of Chapter 3. Mendeecees was not yet finished being exposed by Jasmine. She was about to reveal one more shocking revelation, the one thing that had been tormenting her for a number of years. Despite the fact that her voice was shaking, Jasmine stated, "Mendeecees wasn't just lying to me, he was also lying to Yandy," she said. "The affair that he had with another lady, while he was with her, is something that I am aware of. When I asked him about it, he claimed that he was working late, but in truth he was in another city with another person. I am aware of this specific instance. I am sorry, Yandy, but he has been playing both of us the whole time. There is a second life that he has been leading, and you have the right to know the truth." While she was putting the phone down, Yandy's hand began to shake. What she had just heard rendered her speechless and incredulous. The treachery was beyond her capacity to deal with effectively. Mendeecees had always been someone she trusted. For the sake of their family, she had struggled. Now, however, everything that she had previously believed in seemed to be a lie. Not only did Jasmine uncover Mendeecees' infidelity, but she also revealed other things. When she spoke about the times that Mendeecees had promised her that he would be there for their son, Awesome, his actions spoke a different narrative than what he had claimed that he would be. He had prioritized his profession, his relationships, and his own personal interests over his responsibilities as a parent, according to Jasmine, who recalled how he had frequently been gone from his son's childhood. With a quiet voice, Jasmine whispered, "I gave him everything. And the only thing I ever asked in return was for him to be honest and for him to be committed to our son. But he was unable to even provide us with that." Chapter 4. The Breakdown of Yandy's Heart. Yandy has been constructing a life with Mendeecees for a number of years. He had been sent to prison when the world turned its back on him, and when his history came back to haunt him. She had been there for him through all of these times. She had made a great deal of sacrifices, but she had done everything the way she had because she had faith in their love. However, at this point, everything was coming apart. This caused Yandy's thoughts to rush with questions that she was unable to answer. How much time had passed since this romance had begun? On the other hand, how many other women were there? Were all of the things that she had constructed with Mendeecees a lie? A confrontation between Yandy and Mendeecees took place in the days that followed Jasmine's startling interview. Insisted on knowing the truth. Unfiltered, emotive, and rife with anguish, the confrontation was a genuine experience. Despite the fact that Mendeecees had always been recognized for his charisma and charm, he was taken aback by the situation. He stutteringly attempted to explain himself, but his remarks were pointless and devoid of any substance. The words, "I never wanted to hurt you, Yandy," came out of his mouth as his voice broke. "I have been blundering, however, I adore you, you are aware of that." Yandy shrugged her head and her eyes welled up with tears as she did so. "Love. This is what you refer to it as, right? What about lies, treachery, and deceit? My heart is shattered because of you, Mendeecees. You have destroyed everything that we have constructed." Mendeecees made an attempt to hold her, but Yandy resisted, her heart shattered into 1,000 pieces. Mendeecees wanted to reach for her. It was impossible for her to look at the man whom she had loved for such a long time. At this point, she could no longer deny the reality. The 5th chapter, moving on. While Yandy was moving forward, she discovered comfort in the support that she received from her family and friends. They gathered around her, providing words of support, and again reminded her that she was more capable than she had given herself credit for. Despite the fact that Yandy was aware that her heart had been crushed, she was also aware that she was capable of experiencing healing. The trip that Jasmine Bleu was about to go on was completely unique to her. It was true that she had revealed the truth, but in doing so, she had also begun a new phase in her life. Jasmine was no longer merely a woman who was looked down upon. Rather, she was a woman who was recovering her authority. A mother who fought for her personal happiness as well as the future of her son. She was a tireless advocate. The guy who had once had everything was now left with nothing but the repercussions of his deeds. Mendeecees, on the other hand, found himself alone. He was the man who had once had everything. The love of his life, the trust of his family, and the respect of people who had formerly looked up to him, were all things that he had unfortunately lost. In before of his very eyes, the life he had constructed was falling apart. The truth will always be revealed in the epilogue. At the end of the day, the truth was always revealed. There is a limit to how long the falsehoods, the betrayals, and the secrets that have been concealed may remain buried. It was a difficult lesson for Mendeecees to learn. Yandy was forced to learn this in the most excruciating manner imaginable. What about Jasmine Bleu? It was through the process of uncovering everything that she had discovered her strength and her voice. Even though the storm had passed, the scars would linger for the rest of time.